Good morning.
Welcome to Morning Manna.
Post spring break edition.
Oh, yes, back home edition.
Yeah. So we hope that you're all feeling blessed on this day and want to just talk with you for a few moments and share with what God is sharing with us on today.
Yeah, so what are we going to be discussing today on this lovely spring day where the weather is cooperating? I think we experienced several seasons one day last week:
Yeah.
snow, rain, and
Right.
then it was freezing.
And hot all
Yes.
in a matter of days. Yes. But today we're thankful and we're going to talk about what I believe God is really speaking in this season that it's truly a time for healing. And so much that we go through, a lot of times we will forget that really God has a plan and a purpose, not just for our life, but also for the season that we're in our lives.
Yeah, and seasons, as we can see, they change rather quickly,
Yes,
whether we are ready or not.
yes,
They change.
and and through God operates a lot of time through seasons in our lives. And there are seasons, when things can get very hectic. Then there are also seasons when things seem to come together.
Hmm.
There are those rare times where everything just seems to come together like a plan, and we find out it really is it's God's plan. So
Yeah.
uh, I believe that with things that's going on in the world right now, healing is definitely a part of God's plan. There's healing needed, not just in the family, but there's healing needed in the church. There's healing needed in the community. Healing needed in the country. Because there are a lot of things going on right now that are contrary to God's best for our lives. And sometimes when the healing begins, even on a very local level, it is extended to other areas. When you find peace in one area, it's tendency to be extended to other areas of our lives. And we find that God is moving toward healing. Um, a lot of times, that's scripture everybody quotes, 2 Corinthians 7:14. My people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways. Then will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin. He also says, and I will heal their land. So letting us know that there's a time that we need healing in our land.
It's definitely now.
Yeah,
Definitely. With so much going on so quickly. It's like before you can digest or process one drama, something else happens
yeah.
or event.
And when you have someone who can really deal with those issues and really bring to light the inner conflicts of the mind, it tends to give the body the peace that it needs to heal itself.
As you said, time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key, I guess, sometimes with our patience. We don't grace ourselves and give ourselves time, let alone anyone else. So it's important to give yourself a little time, as well as those that are around you, and I guess be kind about
Yeah,
it. Because there are things that will happen, like my day yesterday. It
no,
just
it's quite a day.
you just want to go back to bed. It's like I'll try it again, but you have to keep going in spite of.
Yeah, and that's one of that when we realize that and understand that healing a lot of times involve relationships. Things can happen years ago that would sour a relationship with someone, and at times you might miss the times you spent together or the things you done or just the fellowship, but
Hmm.
then that hurt. will always invade the memory and
Yeah.
continue to perpetuate the separation or the bitterness. And when that is healed and there is no more hurt, then you realize how valuable the person was as a friend, confidant, or
Hmm.
whatever it was.
Yeah, you just usually don't miss or appreciate someone until you cannot have them at your disposal. So we have to remember that people are not at our disposal all the time, as we see a lot of celebrities and even just regular people are still dying. Uh, some expected, unexpected. It's just part of the process.
And it's something that we learn to live with. In time, we learn to live with loss. And again, that could be a very, I want to say that could be a very good source of pain. The pain of loss is one of the hardest things to overcome. And I'm sure God realized that when He created us, but He also realized that it was necessary. Um, you would find that what makes anything valuable is the scarcity and the idea.
Hmm.
Once we realize that we're never going to see that person again, then the pain becomes real because the memory is still there, but the person is
Hmm.
gone.
Yeah, or all those I meant to or
Mm-hmm.
intentions, or maybe we wanted to have that conversation and you didn't get the opportunity, or to tell them how much they meant to you, or mend an argument, disagreement, or apology. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's usually where maybe I think a lot of the grieving could be because you realize how small the incident was that maybe drove you apart or caused tension. So you didn't get to say, I'm sorry or I forgive you. A lot of people, they've done things and want to relieve themselves of all the guilt or hurts that they may have caused and start with their apologies and letting people know how much they meant to them and they appreciated them, and the small things, because it's those little things that you realize how important life can be when you're facing uh, a death or near death experience afterwards. Things are a little more in perspective. You don't worry so much about the little things, and sometimes it lasts for a while and it lasts the rest of your life. But you know how quickly you come back from a near death experience, and you want to do all those things that you didn't have time because you realize time is not forever. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have forever. We may feel like we do, but we don't.
So when we talk about a time for healing, you notice like a lot of times you hear about a lot of things attacking people's body and they're going through different kinds of health challenges,
Yeah.
and you realize that sometimes in the discovery is where the healing process began. You know, you can live with a condition for years and never even know about its existence, and something causes a discovery, and that thing may be an incident that you would rather live without. But once it exposes what's going on, then the healing can begin.
Yeah, because it's getting to the root of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And sometimes, you could be in denial about it. There's certain symptoms and signs, or even like relationships, denial about those. There's symptoms and signs that this is not going to last.
Yeah.
But you want to feel like I can make it, or I've invested so much, or I feel like I'm just giving up, when really it's not giving up on you. It's starting to fulfill your purpose.
This takes us back to the scripture, for to everything there's a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven. So even in your healing, there's a time for it. And a lot of the times we expend with the hurting.
Yes, we want to rush through the healing process of it, I remember when I was, healing from the bilateral pulmonary embolism. That was very painful, and you want to rush through it, but you have to realize your body cannot rush through that type of healing.
Mm,
And with it being, an outward healing, you kind of rub it or put some ice on it,
mm.
do something. But when it's in your lungs, you can't just touch them, ice them, or make it go away. It's one of those that it heals in time.
And there are a lot of pains, especially spiritual. The Bible talks about that a wounded spirit, who can bear it? And when we allow it to get down to the point where it affects our spirit, and then it starts to manifest. And a lot of the things that manifest in our bodies are actually symptomatic of a deeper need for healing in our spirit.
Yeah. Elaborate a little bit on
Well, it's just like sometimes we get a condition,
that.
and then the doctor, of course, he looks and he see, I can't find any reason for it.
Hmm.
Uh, then you begin when you begin to explore spiritually the things going on with you. You can maybe even expose something that's actually causing a good example of that is something like unforgiveness. When you refuse to forgive, that actually means you're actually holding on to the hurt for whatever that condition, whatever that hurt was.
Hmm.
Because you don't forgive, you refuse to release the hurt, and it's like a sore that continues until it turns into cancer. The pain of unforgiveness will continue to affect you till it manifests a condition in your body. And most of the time, we never make those connections because we've been taught that there is no connection between the body and the spirit. So we never look for a connection. We run to the medicine cabinet to find something to cure.
Yeah, numb the pain, of course.
Yeah, and there's no cure. The medicine don't deal in cures. Most of the time, it's treatment. But let's expose it, and we become a treatment-oriented society. And even when it comes to things like addiction, there used to be a point to where, okay, not only can I be free from whatever the drug I'm addicted to, but we used to approach it where all drugs. Now the approach is, okay, we'll give you a drug to take the
Specific.
rest of your life
Yeah.
to keep you off of the drug that you was addicted to.
Right. So it's a trade.
It's a trade. I mean, and I can't say if it works for you, I have nothing against it. Because it whatever works. But really, are we giving ourselves the opportunity, especially with opioids? There was 2 weeks of hell, and for people coming off of heroin, and the shakes, the fever, whatever they go through,
Hmm.
and once you kicked it, as they would say, the only thing required was never going back.
But sometimes easier said than done.
Oh, it's always easier said than done. But
Yeah.
at that time, that was the only option. There was nothing else to ease. You had to just kick it, and you had to realize that it's either this or that.
Right.
And now we found a medium that works. And again, I'm not saying don't do it if it works, because you have to do whatever works for you. But I believe that if we allow God to heal, first of all, the root of whatever your pain may be.
Yeah. And forgiveness is that it will make you physically sick. So maybe just do a little self examination of, is there anything that, even from childhood,
Yeah.
um, that you may have thought you let go of, or you've forgotten about it, or I've moved on, but there are little things that could trigger something that happened many years ago, and then all of a sudden you like you snapped because
Hmm.
someone's done or said something and remind you of that experience, or you see someone that reminds you of a person.
Wow. So you saying you've moved on, but the pain hasn't?
Correct. It's just lying dormant, waiting for that, that moment.
Or the next relationship to manifest? Yeah.
That too.
And sometimes
Yeah.
we're good at that. We will actually, when we're packing up to move into another relationship,
Yeah.
if we're not careful, the first thing we pack to carry with us is our pain.
Yeah. This is what happened, and when I see this sign, I know I'm
Mhm.
done. Or
Yeah,
that's my straw.
yeah. And if you look for it everywhere, you'll find it everywhere.
You will, whatever you look for, you're going to find. So yeah, just like you said, you're packing something. Just don't pack.
Hmm.
Unpack.
Wow.
Just don't even bother. Like I said, just walk away and go get some new luggage. Just leave the old stuff.
Don't even bother packing and unpacking that. So just take everything and drop it
No,
off at Goodwill,
no.
including
Don't
the
even give it to
luggage.
anybody else. Just leave. Just leave it.
That's
Some
good.
things you don't want to give to someone else. It's just like it's not even worth it. It gave you a headache. You don't want to put that headache on someone else. So you just it's okay.
That's good.
There's more luggage out there. And sometimes you don't even need luggage just to get a bag and go. Be free.
Travel light.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's it. Keep it light.
And you know what? You'll thank yourself for it at some point because when you realize that the weight of what you're carrying, you don't realize it because you've gotten used to carrying that extra weight. You think it's a part of you, and really, it's not a part of you. You just haven't carried it for so long. Why not just let it go?
Shed it.
Yeah, move on. We all know it hurt. We all know that.
Yeah. Or as Mel Robbins would say, let them. Just let
Yeah,
them go.
yeah. And you'd be surprised how much better you will feel when you release the pain. And makes it a time of healing because this is time for you. I'm talking to you, not nobody else, you. And you know who you are. You know you've been carrying this for a long time. You know that you've been trying to make everybody else feel what you felt for so long now. That's your goal in life is to inflict pain because it still hurts. You got to let it go.
All of
Yes.
it.
There's
Let
a
go some.
every last bit of it.
Yeah.
Because there's a better version of you waiting right now to take the stage,
Mhm.
but cannot come out because that old wounded hurt you that everybody's tired of is hogging all the spotlight. And it just needs to go. No, we're tired of your pain. You should
But
be
you get,
tired of
yeah, I was
it.
gonna say you get tired of, like I said, once you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, then
Mm-hmm.
you'll do something.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really have to wait till you get to that point, which is usually at the point of frustration, maybe. But do something before then, be preventive,
Yes.
or proactive in your own healing.
Yes. That's good. Proactive in your own healing because it's for your good. There's a reason why people don't want to be around you.
Yeah. And especially we spring into this new season, the
Oh,
spring, everything is new,
mhm.
things are starting to bloom. You want to bloom as well, and
Yeah.
be new, come out of this previous winter season is it's usually cold, you bundle all up, and now you can emerge almost like a butterfly as something that's let go of all the old, and embracing this new season,
Mm.
because we're embracing this warm weather. Now we may not want to in July,
Right.
but we are appreciating the breaks of the freezing temperatures and the snow and the ice, and flowers are starting to come out, and allergies, and even though those things are blooming and we have allergies for people that do, you are still looking forward to wanting to be outside, even though there may be some consequences later, but you still look forward to it. So even though there may be some disappointments and hurts, you're still looking forward to life
Yeah.
and being out and around people.
Oh yeah, and there will be some disappointments and some hurts. But you know that the idea of really living is not to avoid pain. It's to figure out a way to get over it and keep going. Because if you live your life simply trying to avoid pain, you also avoid the experiences that also generate pleasure. They're twins. They hang out together. You can't have one and not the other.
Yeah.
So you have to learn how to live with that so that you will enjoy all of the experiences that life has to offer
Yeah.
and gain strength from
And
those.
then you'll help someone else as
Okay.
well. You can say, this is what worked for me, or this is what I did, or even just them seeing you, they're knowing part of your story will maybe inspire or give them some encouragement, motivation. But we don't all have to wear our stories like a badges of honor, or look at me, what I've gone through or gotten over. It's people seeing you just taking one step or day at a time, and they say, okay, I can too. I can move past it. I had way worse happen to me. But my mom would always say, there's always, um, it could be worse. It's always worse. It could be worse for someone else. Thinking of just you. And we're thinking of just us in our moment, as you say, the me centered universe. It's all about me.
Yeah,
But there's someone else out there who's experienced or is experiencing worse than what you have experienced.
that's good. And I thought about when you mentioned the butterfly earlier that this butterfly has a season,
Hmm.
same as the cocoon, the larva, whatever the caterpillar. There's a season for it, and those seasons does not coexist. When it's time for the
Yeah.
butterfly to emerge, there are some things that have to remain in the cocoon that will
Yeah.
not benefit the butterfly one bit, will not enhance its life one bit. And we have to understand that when we are traveling from one season to the other, there are some things, and newsflash, people that don't belong in the season that you're currently in.
Hmm.
And our pain comes from dragging those
Yeah.
experiences and people into
Yeah.
season that they were never meant to be a part of.
Or trying to get them to be in a season that they're not ready for. So it's causing you pain, costing you as well.
Yes.
You're trying to make someone do or be something that's not what they want to be. So you have to let them, when they get to that point and they realize, okay, now I can do this for myself, or I need to do this for myself. Then they can move forward, and you can stop frustrating yourself because you're trying to maybe make an adult do something that they don't want to do.
Mm,
Now it's usually, more of it I could think is with adults, because children, you're training them and teaching them,
yeah.
so they're learning. So there's a little frustration there, but you realize you grace them because you're like, this is a child. They
Mhm.
said when I was a child.
Yeah, that's right.
So when it's an adult and you're trying to make an adult get a job, or you're trying to make an adult be an adult, that's when it becomes frustrating, because it's probably costing you because they may be staying with you, or you're paying their bills wherever they are to try to get them to be an adult, and it's not going to work. They have to, as you say, every tub sits on its own bottom. They got to realize it for themselves that I need to get up and apply myself so that I can apply for these jobs. And then once I get there, it's not going to be my way or no way.
Mhm.
You're going to have to listen to someone wherever you get to. You may not like it, but someone is going to need to give you some instruction to say, okay, I need you here at 8 o'clock, not 8:05. I need you to stay until 1 o'clock, not leave at 12:30 because your phone went off and you all of a sudden something more important. So there's those life and
Yeah.
those life skills that maybe you're trying to make an adult have that they aren't ready for. So free yourself from that frustration and just let them
Mm,
figure out how to adult on their own.
yes. See, Johnny, good morning, Johnny, Teresa, Kevin, Queenie. Good morning, everybody.
and we have JN on our YouTube.
Oh, okay, it's Jan and D. Henley. The thing that we want to remember though, like one of the things she was talking about is when you understand that a season of joy and a season of pain are two different seasons. And sometimes when we try to take the very thing that brought us joy into another season,
Mm-hmm.
it transforms into pain. And then that's the signal to us that it's time to release. A good example is the rocket. When they're launching a rocket, they said this rocket is trying to get to the moon. They have these boosters on the side, and they have one job to provide the thrust it takes to get out of Earth's atmosphere. Once it gets out of the atmosphere, those same boosters that help you get to where you are
Yeah.
become a hindrance to where you're going,
Yeah.
and they have to release them.
Mm.
So and then it's no
Well,
longer
actually,
needed.
no, they just release themselves, right?
They're supposed to,
It's
unless
just
something goes wrong.
automatic, an automatic release. So you're not
Yeah, the rocket
weighed
can't hold
down.
on to them, but we
Right.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket's not like, wait, give me one more minute, give me one more second. At the precise calculation, it knows
To release it.
just to release. And then you're able to go
Mm.
farther.
But what if the rocket refused to release it? And that's where
The
our
disaster.
free will comes in. We can hold on to things long beyond their usefulness.
Yes.
You know.
Like our winter coats. You might feel like, oh, this coat was just the coat. I loved it. It felt good on me, kept me warm.
Wow.
I want to keep it.
Mm.
You can.
All right. Okay.
You can continue to wear it.
What's gonna happen?
You're out of season.
How's that gonna make you feel?
Uncomfortable.
Wow. But it felt so good in the
Very
winter.
uncomfortable.
Wow.
And you may get some looks, and people are like, is it still winter or is it not? Kind of like in the wintertime, we see people with shorts on, and you're like, did I get it wrong? I'm bundled up. Gloves, hat, boots, and you see someone with shorts and a shirt, and you're like, who got it wrong? But again, you have to let go. Like the butterfly, I see the little cartoon, and the butterfly was sitting across from the caterpillar, and the caterpillar was telling the butterfly, he said, "You changed," and the butterfly says, "We're supposed to." They're sitting at the table across from each other.
Wow, that's good.
So he was
Wow.
still holding on. He was like, "No, we're supposed to change."
Wow. Some
Oh yeah.
people just enjoy us so much as caterpillars. They got a problem with us flying, especially if they can.
Ooh. They're not Jay, are they? They're not trying to hold us back. You got a
Not
problem with
everybody
it?
is happy to see you soar, but you
Oh,
and me, that's why you never find eagles hanging out in chicken coops.
that was my go-to. I was about to say that. And eagle's not afraid to fly alone.
Mm. There's a story, I believe this is a famous preacher in the 50s named Brainerd, I believe was his name. Used to tell the story about the eagle and how this little baby eaglet fell into the chicken coop and how the mother hen chose to take him and raise him, teach him to be like all the other, chicks. And for a while, everything was working out for him. But he looked clumsy. They picked at him. They talked about him. Like, well, you're not like us. And came a time at one point when the little eagle, a storm was coming, and so the mother hen was like, "Okay, y'all, let's get back into the barn." Everybody run to the barn, get under the safety of her wings. The storm would pass over, but the eagle, something inside him told him, "No, don't go, don't do that." So he was outside in this storm while the rest of them was in the barn looking at him, and then finally, the inner voice, his real self, began to speak to him and tell him, "Now go, push against the storm." And when he began to push against the storm, he spread his wings, and the wind actually caused him to rise up. And he said, "Cool, you can do it, rise higher." Everything in him said, "I need to be back in there with the rest of the chicks. I need to be doing what they're doing." He said, "No, no, push higher." And as his inner self began to speak to him, he realized that the wind and the storm was not his enemy. That is what elevated him. And finally, he found himself above the storm, looking down at all of the things going on beneath him because he
Wow.
found out who he really was.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Sometimes
Really
adversity will reveal
push you.
your real nature because some of
Yeah.
us are trying our best to be chicks when
Yeah.
God has said we were eagles. You're scratching and looking down when you're supposed to be
Yeah.
soaring.
Yeah. That's good. It reminds me of the commercial I just saw. I won't say the brand, but during Super Bowl, you know, the commercial, it had the little eaglet. I guess he had fell out, and so he was hanging out with the horse, and they were
Mhm.
both like,
Oh
it was like a
yeah.
colt, and then the eaglet, and then finally he was practicing trying to learn to fly, and then that, you know, the horse took off as a Clydesdale, and then he spread his wings, and that was just like,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of things in life where we feel like we're struggling and we're not going to get it. And you might have that one person that gives you that boost or encouragement and helps you to be elevated to where you should be.
Mhm.
And you're not hanging out with turkeys or the chickens. You're with eagles. You're flying
Wow.
above your situations, and you can, I guess, see it from a different perspective
That's good.
and understand who I am and whose I am, and this is where I'm supposed to be.
Mhm. Understand this. Your greatest struggle in life is not going to always be sin. It's not going to
Yeah.
be breaking habits. It's not always going to be coming against generational patterns. Your greatest struggle is sometimes connected to knowing your real identity,
Mhm.
understanding and embracing who God made you. When you understand that, a lot of the struggles are gone at that point because
Okay.
you embrace when you embrace your purpose and embrace who you are, then you can be what God intended for you to be, what He created you to be.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Got a few good comments. Queenie's got one. It's hard to let go of what holds us back and blocks us from going forward in God.
Mm.
But it's that part of release and letting go.
And she's right. It's so much easier for us to say it than it
To
is
do.
to do it. Think about it. The difference between the word simple and easy is extremely profound. Because if a man is an alcoholic, it is very simple to put that bottle down and never pick it up, and then you're free from it.
Right.
But again, is that easy?
No.
Don't ever get simple and easy confused. They're two
Wow.
very different words.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah. Life is simple, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just not that easy. I just want to thank you all for coming and being with us today. God has
Yes.
really, I believe, touched our heart, and I believe there are some people out there that maybe you're struggling and you need a healing, and we want to pray for you. Honey, do you want to say anything before we exit with prayer?
Um, have an easy day.
Yeah, yeah,
Appreciate what is blooming and those things that in your life that may be blooming or you may need to cut back or trim or let go of. Just embrace this new season.
and every challenge that come with it because it's making you better. There's some places we will never go on our own. But thank God that we serve a God who will take us into places that we're not necessarily willing to go. And when we get there, we'll find out that we're in a great place compared to where we were. See, Evelyn and Kevin, I think good morning.
Good morning.
Um, we want to pray for you because I know in my spirit there are some people right now who are struggling with where you are, and I get it. The struggle is not so much about where you are; it's about where you know you're supposed to be. And the difference seems so far, but we're going to pray because you're going to find out that you are so much closer than what you realize or ever even imagine. And that God Himself is using the interval between where you are and where you're going to prepare you for where you're going. Now, God uses intervals. So we want to pray for you that God will give you the strength to endure, the strength, the courage to change, and patience to wait it out. So, God, right now, in the name of Jesus, we're praying, Lord, for that person that's in a very difficult place, Lord. That person who's like the eagle, who's been trying to live like a chicken and it's just not working for them. God, I pray right now, Lord, that you give them the strength, that you give them the courage, Lord, that you give them the perspective and the mindset to alleviate his own pain, God. Lord, that her healing will begin now with the realization that God is not finished. And the ability to let go will become easier as she presses forward to embrace purpose. I pray now, God, that man, that woman, that child that's in a very painful place, it might be physical pain, it might be a condition of health in their body. I pray right now, God, that the healing will begin. And Lord, I pray that as they realize that there's some issues that need to be removed, or even people that have used up their purpose, I pray that you give them the strength to release them. And I pray, God, that they will understand and embrace the purpose and the plan you have for their lives. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you.
Thank you all for those that are on YouTube watching. If you just like, share, subscribe, and Facebook, maybe you can jump on over to YouTube and watch us on there.
Yeah, and share.
Yes.
God bless you, and
Have a great day.
see you next week on
Morning Manna.